Well, good, cold, wet, nasty Monday morning.
Brr.
Definitely cold.
Brr.
All right, it's our Monday morning edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. I'm Jim Tabor, along with Drs. Jim and Janine Fox of Doctors Nutrition on Calvin Road in Gulfport. And boy, does it feel like winter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally.
I mean, exactly. Finally. Yesterday was pretty nasty with all the rain that we got. I know the people that live around Lee Street in Biloxi.
Oh yeah, it was flooding.
There's flooding over there because of the the roads are all
Construction and
messed
stuff,
up.
yeah.
But I feel really sorry for y'all, and hopefully they'll get that taken care of here soon. But just add some stress to your life, which is kind of what we're talking about this morning, in a way. And I mean, because this is the time of year, a lot of stress is happening, and you might deal with a lot of cardiovascular problems, heart problems, things like that, or stroke problems, and why it's important to get tested for any cardiovascular situations.
Yeah.
Actually, it's more about risk. You know, who is at risk? And there is some cardiovascular markers that most people never have done. Everybody has their cholesterol checked. It's the one thing that probably our modern day medicine is focused on, and it is not the only factor. It is one small,
one of many,
actually one of many factors. And there's other things that actually, if elevated, put you at just as much risk as having high cholesterol, but no one ever has it checked. So we do it often, and that's what we were going to talk to a couple tests today that we do very often, and why you want to do them, and what you can do about it if it is elevated.
Now, one of the most important things, and if you look at all the big research, I mean, and believe me, if you've got insomnia, I'll give you some and it'll help you, because it's tough to read. But if you dig through all that, all the details, one of the main things that keeps cropping up is inflammation. Now, we've talked a little bit about that, but one of the tests that Janine and I wanted to talk to you about today, one that we do quite often, is called the HS, or high sensitivity C-reactive protein.
Right, and what it shows, it's an inflammation marker is what it is. And it's more specific to your vessels.
Cardiovascular,
There
right.
is a regular C-reactive protein which shows inflammation in the body as a whole, and this one's more cardiac specific. And if you have a high inflammation in the vessels, you are at high risk for stroke and heart attack.
Now, regardless of where your cholesterol is.
Exactly, because half of all people that have heart attacks have normal cholesterol levels. So you can't just go by cholesterol. You got to go by these inflammation
We
markers
maybe
as
should
well.
restate that one. 50% of the people who have heart attacks have normal, quote unquote, normal cholesterol. So something else is going on, right? At least in 50% of the people.
Wow. That's I would have not thought
Right.
that.
Well, it's not the
yeah.
only factor, and that's why we wanted to talk about it. I think it's really important for people to know there's other tests. Now, it may not be covered by your insurance company.
Probably
It's probably that's why it's not done routinely. So I always tell people, it's up to you to take care of your own health. It's not somebody else's job to pay for it. Yes, if you have something happen, the insurance is going to pay for it. But for prevention, you got to take care of yourself. I always say, if you had a car and the tires were getting bald and they needed to be replaced, would you not replace them because insurance don't cover it? Or would you wait for it to have a blowout?
And then have an accident.
And then have an accident, and of course, once in,
Exactly. That's why I say, why, you have to pay for other things to actually, prevent problems from happening. So same thing with your health. And your health is your most important thing because you can't replace it.
This is true. 896-0713, 800-349-0713. Those are our phone lines if you would like to call in with a question regarding this morning's topic, or something else maybe you have thought about over the weekend that you want to call and ask the doctors about. But you can call and pass on the question to our, if you don't want to be on the air, to our operator, or you can ask them personally, because that's what this show is all about. And and like you said, you can't force someone to go get checked.
Right.
I mean, you can harp on them all the time.
Right. Like I
until
said,
they
I mean,
finally-
exactly. I have people all the time that come in and say, I have so-and-so, my husband, my kid, my whatever, that I want them to do this and they won't listen. I was like, well, if they're an adult, they kind of have to do it themselves. I mean, so you got to take responsibility for your own health, and you have to decide on your own if it's worth it.
I think that's kind of a sense of false security that we've been lulled into with the insurance model that we use in America. Insurance in America does not cover the vast majority of what we call the preventative tests, like the C-reactive protein, and there's going to be some others we'll talk about too. But for instance, they just don't pay for it. It's like, well, you don't have a problem, so we're not going to pay for it. And so the docs don't order it. I mean, they know that, okay, if it's not going to get paid for, we don't want to get you stuck with a big bill. So it's up to you, or up to us individually, to say, okay, I want to know. I'm really kind of want to know what's going on with me and my health, regardless of what, as I always tell people, I work hard to save my insurance company a lot of money.
Right.
I mean, I
Don't
really
want the
do.
insurance to have to pay. Now, on the C-reactive protein, there's actually a couple levels when you do it. There's actually, are you at average? I mean, it even tells you on the results, it'll say your risk for future cardiovascular event. So it's a risk marker. And they say, okay, if it's elevated, then you are at more risk. And there is a low risk, an average risk, and a high risk. So, like I said, you can actually, there's different levels. You'd like to be at the low. Now, average still means you're at the same risk as everybody else. And then high risk, of course, is you really need to do something about it.
But if you know that it's high, there's a lot of things you can do
Yes.
to help. For instance, one of the best anti-inflammatories, and we've talked about this a dozen times, probably at least a dozen or 100,000 times over the past few years, omega-3 fish oil.
Right. And turmeric, curcumins. That's another one that's been shown to actually lower the C-reactive protein.
All right. We got a caller on the line, Nathan from Gulfport. Good morning, Nathan. What's your question for the doctors?
Yes, Doctor. This is Nathan David Bryant. I'm in Gulfport.
Oh,
Oops, I think we
I
lost
think we lost
Nathan.
him.
Well, call us back, Nathan.
Yeah.
And
So
we'll
back
try to
to,
answer your
back to
question.
things that lower the C-reactive protein. Now, a lot of it has been linked. If you do have the high cholesterol and you do have the bad type of cholesterol and you do have the high particles, actually lowering that has also been shown to decrease the cardiovascular risk and lower the actual CRP. Now, there's a few people that the CRP is not a good marker, and that is somebody with an inflammatory disease like rheumatoid arthritis, some of the autoimmune diseases, because it'll falsely raise that because of the inflammation all over the body. So we always say, you have to take a few things into account, and actually being sick. If you are sick, like say you have a bacterial infection or a viral infection, and you do a C-reactive protein, it is sky high. It just shows how the inflammation in the body just takes off when you get sick.
Sure
So we also say if you're sick, it's not a good time to do a C-reactive protein because it may be falsely elevated.
Right.
And usually in those cases, it's greatly elevated.
Right.
It's not just a little bit. The little bit is the ones you got to worry about.
And with all this kind of weather that we're having out there, a lot of people are going to be getting sick.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we've had tons of people coming in that's had strep and flu and everything else.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment with more information for you. And welcome back to our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy. Now, we'll let you know that next Monday's show will be pre-recorded. And so we won't be taking your phone calls. We had some people, we invite you to email questions into us if you'd like, jtabor@wlox.com. And we'll try to get to them all. But if we don't get to yours, we'll try to do that at a later date. But next week will be a tape show, and we'll tell you what it's going to be about in just a little bit. But today we're talking about cardiovascular risks.
Yes.
Yeah, another real important one is one that a lot of folks don't
I think we have
hear
somebody
about.
else on the phone, and we'll.
Oh, okay. Well, let's have the phone.
First.
Dawson from Pascagoula wants to know, is it possible to get off 10 milligrams of lisinopril?
Lisinopril.
Her blood pressure is 117/65.
We never recommend just stopping medication. We always recommend going back to the doctor that prescribed it for you and working with them to decrease the dose and maybe get off of it if you can. But that is completely, you want to work with your doctor and do it. You don't want to just cold turkey anything.
No.
And there is you can do a lower dose, but you never want to just stop it. And so I would say definitely go to your doctor and tell them, let's see if lowering the dose will make my blood pressure go up. And so you just got to watch the blood pressure.
And you got to do some things to, you got to do some things to try to bring your blood pressure down naturally. And we'll talk about a lot of those. But one is, for instance, make sure you get plenty of magnesium.
Magnesium, right.
Very, very important. But that's the big thing is you never want to stop a medication like Janine said. You want to, yours looks like it's being controlled very well right now. So, you want to keep on taking that. That's for sure.
But like I say,
very important.
We do have a product called Vascular Support BP that has your magnesium and your hawthorn and the cocoa extract and grapeseed extract and things that make the vessels pliable. And so a lot of times people will start taking that and then work with your doctor at maybe weaning down.
Exactly.
Well, it was something I remember when I first started having to take blood pressure medicine and all that. It was and cholesterol medicine. That was the one thing, because it had been great for the longest time, and then all of a sudden, bam.
Well, as you age, and like I said, and both of those are risk factors when we are talking about cardiovascular health.
Yes.
They're risk factors, and the risk factors are high blood pressure, diabetes, overweight,
Yeah.
Those are some of the big risk factors. Of course, heredity, what your family history is. And then, then you start looking at your own factors, like we said, like the, C-reactive protein, and we're now going to talk about homocysteine.
Yeah, homocysteine, and everybody always asks, well, what is homocysteine? Well, homocysteine is actually a byproduct of being alive, breathing, and functioning. So, it's not something that just a few people have. Everybody makes homocysteine. It's just part of our metabolism.
It's an amino acid that's produced in the body.
But it's a mean amino acid.
Oh, yeah.
He can be very, very nasty.
Well, what I've seen it kind of listed as, it's a neurotoxin for one. So it's actually, there's so many things that high homocysteine can do, and it usually does run in families.
It tends to.
Because a lot of times it is a product of not having an enzyme needed to break down folic acid properly.
Yeah, we had a whole show on that MTHFR. I mean, if you get that kind of memory, and this stuff really does, homocysteine actually affects the memory in an adverse way too. So very important to get it down. And like you said, folks have that enzyme problem.
And it can be at any age. Now, the older you get, it tends to elevate just like cholesterol. Like we talked about, as you age, it tends to get worse if you do have this mutation. But so it's important to get checked. Now, a few of the things that people don't think of, it's definitely linked to cardiovascular disease and dementia. So dementia and Alzheimer's. So if you have that in your family, you also need to have it checked. But a few things, migraine headaches is another thing that has actually been shown. People even at a younger age that have the high homocysteine actually can have migraine headaches.
Right.
Okay. On the phone, Nathan's wife, Dolores, from Gulfport, has a question. Go ahead, Dolores.
Yes, sir. This is Dolores, and I was calling. Nathan had called a while ago shortly and got cut off at that time.
Yeah, sorry
and
about
he
that.
was asking a question. He's had a pacemaker for about 7 years, and it keeps giving him problems, and they're talking about changing the battery out, but they keep putting him off. And he's been having, it's a defibrillator, sorry.
Okay, defibrillator, okay.
Okay.
He's wanting to know if he could get that replaced with the newer type defibrillator.
He needs to go back and talk to, I'm sure that there's an electrophysiologist, or should be, that's actually helping him with that, because that's usually who takes care of those kind of things. And he needs to go back and make sure that they understand he's having problems with it, and that's what they do. They can replace it. Maybe if it needs a new battery, they can fix that.
And if, like you said, they're putting him off and he's not getting the results, go to a different doctor.
Yeah.
That's what we always suggest. If you're really having problems and nobody's listening to you, then go somewhere else. And that's the best thing we can tell you, is to maybe try a different doctor.
Especially with something like that. That's
Exactly.
nothing you
You
want to
don't
play
wanna
around
risk-
with, with your heart, because that has a lot to do with. If you've got an electric defibrillator, my father had one for
Exactly.
and it can make a difference between life and death.
Yeah.
Sure can. Yeah.
So, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dolores, for the call. 896-0713, 800-349-0713. Those are our phone lines. So if you have a question regarding this morning's topic or anything else, you are free to give us a call. Now, as far as the cardiovascular thing, if those kind of issues run in a family, there's a history of it, should you start getting that checked at an early date?
Yes.
I think so, because I actually do have that genetic mutation that actually has the high homocysteine. And when I found that out, I did check my homocysteine, and it was much higher than it should be, and now it's totally normal because you can lower it. It's easily lowered is the thing. We're not talking about tests that we do and have nothing for them.
No.
The thing is you can lower your risk when you lower it. So.
And you're right, Jim. The thing, find out early. Don't wait till the wheels falling off the car.
Right.
Right.
If you're laying there in the hospital with an IV in both arms, it's a little bit late.
Yeah.
You want to do this first, and that's.
Well, I was in my mid-40s when I discovered, went in for my yearly checkup, and doctor said your cholesterol's high, and then we need to get your blood pressure down, because for the longest time my blood pressure was like 120/80. It was textbook normal, and but then all of a sudden it's like 140/90.
All these factors are more likely. I know you don't like to hear it, but as we mature in age, they do get worse. Not to say
She loves using that word.
I know it can be like that when you're young.
She's the youngster of the group.
Yeah, exactly.
Way younger.
Zarita from Gulfport is on the phone with a question. Good morning. How are you this morning?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just woke up and y'all was on, and I said, let me put your number in because I need to call you
Well, that
all.
was
But
scary,
I
I'm
was
sure.
going to be on live. Whenever I eat, I hurt in my chest. It goes through my left shoulder, down my arms, and it's like if you're having a heart attack. And I was told I may have spasm of the esophagus.
It's possible.
And it's very annoying. It could be very painful. And sometimes it'll just lay near your chest, your shoulder, on the
Now,
left side.
Okay, Zarita, have you been checked out for the cardiovascular risk? In other words, have you had your heart checked?
Yeah, they keep saying I don't have no heart disease.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
good. Okay,
All right.
That's what we got to make sure
That-
first,
that's-
because you always want to rule that
Yeah.
out first.
That's step
Yeah.
one. All right, then after that, a lot of times we see folks with those type of symptoms where it's a type of indigestion or those kind of problems, and especially like, okay, when I eat, I get this problem, that's pretty much a giveaway. So there's some things that we'd want to look at for the digestive health to see if we could correct that for you. So, it's
And it really is the
yeah.
digestive enzymes, and we have some really good strong ones that actually really help with digestion and even some probiotics.
I
But
was gonna say
mostly,
probiotics and digestive
mostly the
enzymes, yeah.
digestive enzymes. And so if you come by and we can talk and see which one might work best for you, because we have a few different ones. But
And we have samples.
yeah, we have samples, and to see if it actually makes a difference.
All right, we'll
Thank you.
come back in just a
Thanks.
moment with our special for the week. And welcome back, excuse me, to our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy. Renee from Bay St. Louis is on the phone with us now. Good morning, Renee. What's your question for the doctors?
Good morning. What I want to know is, first of all, I had a stroke 5 years ago. Now, I've noticed I've been doing some slightly lifting things. I feel pressure on my chest, sometimes worse than others. I'm wondering if that's where I've been lifting things, or is it something I should maybe go see a heart doctor about, or...
The
Yes.
first thing you want to do, Renee, is it's what they call triage. First thing you want to do, rule out the bad stuff, like the heart. Get that checked
Right,
out
and
first.
because you've had the stroke in the past, you do have higher risk for cardiovascular because
Right.
you have had the stroke. So you always, any exertion, which you're saying lifting, if it makes chest pain or pressure, I always want to go get that checked
get
out.
that checked out first.
So you want to get that checked first to make sure. So that's the first step I would do. And then if they rule that out, you're not having any problems, then maybe give us a call and we can maybe help you further. But I would definitely get that checked out.
Right.
I wouldn't wait either.
No.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds
Thank you.
On the phone, Daniel from Biloxi. Good morning, Daniel. What's your question for the doctors?
Yes,
Go ahead.
I've been having headaches on my left eye, the right pressure, ear hurt, my jaw hurt on the right side. They call it tension headache.
Yep.
Okay. Have you had that checked out?
No.
Come by and let us, I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
times if you can actually feel it, touch it, kind of, we can maybe tell
Yeah.
you more. So maybe come by. There's no charge for a consultation, no fee to come talk to us, and let's see maybe what we can do for it.
Yeah.
But come in and let's check that out.
Yeah, come by the store, Daniel. We'd be glad to check things like blood pressure and so on for you and just kind of see what's going on.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
That's good.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Daniel.
Daniel, for your call. 896-0713, 800-349-0713. This is our final segment this morning. Let's talk about this week's
Specials.
special.
Yeah, well, we got to have something. If we find, that inflammation up, we got to have something for that.
I take that.
And yeah, the
Yeah,
natto
like
advantage.
natto. Sure do. Yeah, because-
natto kinase is a great anti-inflammatory, and it's the research on it shows that it reduces the risk of cardiovascular
Probably one of the
disease.
best stroke risks.
Yes.
And one reason you're on it is because you have had a TIA in the past,
Right.
which you always want to take something like natto advantage to actually decrease your risk of a further stroke. But natto, it also increases circulation.
Right.
It has so many benefits. So the natto advantage, if
They
you're on a
even
blood
use-
thinner, you got to be careful with it. So just
They even use it in treating Alzheimer's.
Right, they've
believe
even
it or
shown
not.
because
Yeah.
it helps circulation to the brain and helps some of the plaquing in the brain. Now the methyl core is to actually help with the homocysteine, and it lowers it very well. I mean, we've
Very
had people
effectively.
homocysteine 12, 15, even higher, and it can lower it to 6, 7. So I mean, it lowers
Wow.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, even medically, there's never been anything shown to lower homocysteine except for vitamins. And it's actually a methylated form of B12, a methylated form of folic acid, along with betaine, B6. I mean, there's
Some
a few
other
other
stuff,
things
yeah.
in with it, but it works really well for lowering homocysteine.
All right. Bethany from Ocean Springs on the phone with us with a question this morning. Good morning, Bethany. What's your question?
Good morning. How y'all doing today?
Good.
Very
How are you?
good.
That's good. I was just at the emergency room a couple of nights ago, and I was hurting. I've been hurting real bad, nausea, vomiting, and hurting abdominal pain real bad. And I know every time I go in, I'm dehydrated. I'm a diabetic. I got hypothyroidism, gastric bypass patient, bleeding ulcers.
Oh my gosh.
Numerous things. But they diagnosed me with lactic acid, high lactic acid.
Okay.
What is that? And metabolic disease?
Well, I mean, lactic acid comes from metabolism. I mean, that's,
Right, it's
we're
produced in the
producing
body,
the body.
and some people can get higher than others. And actually, we have something called DMG that actually helps lower the lactic acid buildup. So if that is, I mean, you have a lot of other issues too, it sounds like, and a lot of times controlling some of those other issues can even help all your other problems and changing the diet, especially if you're diabetic. But, that is one thing, DMG does help lactic acid buildup.
Sure does. And like I said, Janine said, you got a lot of these other conditions. You need to kind of work on all that at one time. Work on the whole body.
I don't have a doctor right now, so I had to go to the emergency room. So
I would definitely recommend getting a doctor. So
okay, right.
Definitely recommend. Give us a call. We have a good internist that we send people to in Ocean Springs. So just give us a call, and we'll give you her number.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Okay, thank you. You too.
You too. Thank you very much. We got time for probably a couple more questions. 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. The numbers to call. And we do want to mention that you're only going to be open Monday through Thursday of this week.
Yes,
that's right.
And
we are closed for Christmas. We give off everybody in the office, of course, once a little time off. So we are closed Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
4 days
for Christmas. Yes.
Okay.
And then, of course, we're closed on January the 2nd, the day since the first falls on a Sunday. Everybody wants their day off, so that Monday we're actually going to be closed too. So we just wanted to. So this week the special is from Monday through Thursday only.
Okay, and of course the doctors will be there Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Correct.
And then of course Dr.
Bull.
Dr. Bull's there every day.
He's there every day. Joe from Pascagoula on the phone with a question. Good morning, Joe. What's your question?
I have a real bad sinus problem.
Okay.
It's burnt it's bad, so bad it burns in my nose. Mm-hmm. And I also have a real stubborn bowel problem. And when I get sick.
Yeah, you need to turn your TV down.
Okay.
There's a little bit of a delay there. That's what's throwing you off there, Joe. There he goes.
There we go.
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
I have a real stubborn bowel movement problem, and I don't know what to do about it. I've tried just about everything that can be tried for it, X-Lax, milk of magnesia, and so forth.
Well,
I was told that I also could have a clogged up colon, which is parasites,
there's a lot of things.
and that. So I may.
A lot of things you could have, Joe. One of the things you need to do, you probably need to come by the store. It's going to take more than this 30-minute show to tell you what's going on.
We're on our last minute, so we're going to have to hurry it
up.
up.
Cut it down.
Just tell you, Joe, take I-10 to the Caloma Rain Road exit.
Yep.
Go south, and you'll go across the two bridges. And then you'll go across Pass Road. And it'll be right down there on the left-hand side.
Right.
Remind you again, next week's show is going to be pre-taped.
It is.
But got a great subject for you.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we're talking about what you can do to lose that weight after Christmas.
Yeah.
And we all know
how to get
we're
healthy after Christmas.
Yeah, well,
how to get healthy after Christmas.
Because everybody says I'm going to wait till after Christmas.
There you go.
So it's after Christmas.
But on behalf of everyone at Doctor's Nutrition, I want to definitely say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, and we'll see you next week. Well, sometime soon.